going to present my topic to you. My great respect to the chair of this session, Dr. Paltu Datto, a president of BGRF, Mr. Engineer Sharkar, and others, and also the audience from across the world. I am really grateful to you all that you have spent your time to attend this conference. I am the co-host from Sree Sree Geetasangha, Bangladesh. I am Nityananda Chakravorty, talking from Dhaka. My topic is secularism in Gita. Gita has not separately spoken about secularism anywhere, but has shown how it has accommodated and appropriated secularism in the process of teaching Brahma Vidya. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is Brahma Vidya. In the process of teaching, Bhagavan Sri Krishna taught us how he accommodated and appropriated secularism in Bhagavad Gita or Brahma Vidya, the knowledge about the supreme refuge of the multiverse, the knower and the one to be known and the supreme goal. So you will find in my presentation, I have tried to explain as to how secularism has been internalized in Gita, not as a factor from outside, but it will be a factor inside human realm of thinking that secularism will automatically come in. What do you mean by secularism? It is generally no discrimination against anybody in the name of religion. If I am right, then more popularly, what we are accustomed to is the principle of separation of the state from the religious institutions. Here is where my issue, secularism, today stands. The separation of the state from the religious institutions and not to discriminate against anybody in the name of religion. Now, why religion required separation from state? Because religious history is a long one and treading not a very smooth way, but undulating way through millennia, with growth of population and complexities of the demographic and socio-cultural dynamics through centuries, conflicts between faiths, not only between faiths, within faiths also there are conflicts, and mutual intolerance started resulting in violence in many states. I would reiterate Prabhuji's concept that the lack of self-control, which has been the basic disease, obstinate disease, I should say, which we cannot really remove from our adhishtan, means our existence. Historically, states and religious institutions also witnessed interlapping interests. Religious institutions have interests, and states also have common interests for political survival, and it worsened the interfaith situation further. So the state was separated from religious institutions to ensure secularism, so to say, at least by policy in a number of countries in the world. If we take a look at the temporal and chronological spread of religion from the Promethean age or the early human era, we find that population on the left-hand side, we find the population in the early human era was only 0.018 billion. Now it is 7.9 billion. So with the growth of this population, which is exponentially very high, we get the emigration or immigration. And so this tribal life, which was there 30,000 BCE in the Afro-Eurasia and 12,000 BCE in Americas. So therefrom, the spread of the human beings and also the religion came to a reality, a in other areas of the world, which Mr. Jasper in 1953 called axial area, because at that time there was a symbolic system like writing. So only their culture and the ritual ceremonies were the only possible means by which early peoples could create and maintain a meaningful life, meaningful world. Now, this axial area continued from 5000 BC to 3000 BC. Roughly, it is a tentative thing. And then in the third circle, we go to the Archaic Area where we find the BCE is ending, 3000 BC to 1600 Christian era. Then we call it Archaic Area because it was really with the appearance of urban empirical states that justified their authority through world integrating myths. Myths means the mythic status of the divinely chosen leaders. And secularism really started making a meaning in the public role. And then the last circle is the scientific revolution, the enlightenment, which we call enlightenment, but in our previous presentations, we find that it is no more the enlightenment only, but also darkness prevails still in the hindsight of the Enlightenment, and industrial revolution, popular political revolutions, etc. in the United States, France, Russia, and emergence of global political economy now. So in these four stages are really here put in the slide because we have crossed really very important phases of the history where religion had its diverse roles, and the role also entered into the state history. Therefore, the first millennia was associated with Confucius, Lao Tse-tung in China, etc., and up to Greece, Homer, Heraclius, and Plato. And on the Christian era, the Christianity started, and then Abrahamic, then Mahayana Buddhism, Shankaracharya, Sri Chaitanya, Neo-Confucianism, Protestant Reformation, and Italian Renaissance. These also went through an undulating way. They did not remain very static and very calm and quiet. But the revolution in religious changes also had some repercussions in the society, and the interfaith confidence or interfaith interaction was not very sweet. Now, why secularism is tagged with religion? Because religion is an inescapable link. There is an inescapable link between secular history and the debates that center around religious history. David Nash, in 2019, he a sociologist and social analyst worldwide, he is very popular. He really found out that there is an inescapable link between history of secular history and the religious history. And
sorry, Mr. Nityananda, can you just go down the slides? Slides are not moving.
Pardon? Yeah.
The PowerPoint slides are not moving. We can't see the slides. Only the one page. If you can just scroll down.
Yes. Can you see the changes?
We can see the slide, but it is not moving. It is not going down. So if you can just stop sharing and reshare it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Stop sharing. Yeah. Okay.
And now you can, if you can start sharing again.
Can you see now?
Yes, yes. It seems, I'm sure that it will move now, yes.
Oh, but I cannot move it now. Oh, okay.
So you cannot move.
No. Yes. Yes, I can.
Yeah, you can move. Yes, that's good. That's fine. Yes, I can see it moving now. Yes, please.
Now, why secularism is tagged with religion? This is an interesting question, because inescapable link between secular history and the religious history. We cannot escape from religion. Therefore, secularism has to go with religion. And secularism is the product of religion. And religion itself takes the process how it will accommodate or deny or outflank or transcend or appropriate the secular. This is the religion which has to take in. Either it accommodates or transcends or appropriates, or it denies or outflanks. Now, I can skip this. How does Gita look at secularism? No, Gita does not speak. Actually,
I think somehow is no
yeah.
Okay. It seems that communication is breaking. Yes, please. Yes, carry on.
Okay. Gita does not separate individuals by faith. Gita includes all faiths and interfaiths together and confers liberty to every individual to choose how to worship. Every worship would carry results accordingly. Etc. Chapter 4, Sloka 11. In whatever way men or women worship me, the same way do I fulfill their desires. Gita does not dictate any way. It confers the liberty of following the ways to the individuals concerned. Because the Gita says, it is my path, O son of Partha, that persons strayed in all ways. Whatever religion they believe, one believes, that one person will be able to make success treading the same way, not following the other's way. So philosophically, the Gita is beyond the bounds of a religion for a community. It is beyond community. Its message can be separated from the messenger without any misinterpretation or disruption of meaning or implications. And that is how Gita transcends the divide among people due to religion. Therefore, Gita offers liberty to faith, of faith to all, but with self-control. This self-control, as Prabhuji also said, eternal development or self-control. Here is my emphasis also. Gita establishes relationship of religion and secularism as symbiotic. It is not imported. It is auto-generated from within through yoga. Yoga is a kaushal or the strategy of an individual to reach God. So, while reaching God is a long way, having secularism as the character of a person is not that long. One can get secularism by way of searching Brahman. Therefore, when one gets that secularism in one's character, when sarvabhuta samatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana. Iyobang pashyati sarvatra sarvamcha mai pashyati tasaham na pranashyami shachamena pranashyati. These shlokas give us the clue that with the heart concentrated by yoga, with God or the Supreme Soul, with the eyes of evenness for all things, one beholds the self, that is the porous self, which is the cosmic self, and all beings in the self, says Gita, chapter 6, shloka 29. And he who sees me in all things, me means the Supreme Soul, and sees all things in the Supreme Soul, he never becomes separated from the Supreme Soul. But it is difficult to reach that stage of equanimity, equality in everything. It is.
Slides are
yes.
not moving. Slides are
Pardon? Pardon?
The slides are not moving. If you can click on each slide, that will be easy for us.
Oh.
Yeah, click on the slide also.
I see. Is it okay?
No, not
No?
yet.
Not yet. It is now okay?
I think so.
It is okay now?
Yeah,
Translation of the
yeah, it is fine. It is
translation.
fine now. So every time, please click on the slide you are talking about.
Okay. So how do we achieve such equanimity? We achieve through the perfection of body, perfection of speech, and perfection of mind. Body, speech, and mind are the three instruments, the perfection of which. Can you see my slide now?
Yeah, we can see that. Yes, we can see. You can just click on the slide you are talking. We have just 5 minutes to complete your presentation. Please,
Yes,
I'm
okay.
so sorry.
Then I am, yes, I know that I have lost some time due to all these things. Now, Gita emphasizes on shakarma, shadharma, and shabhava. These are the three things which Gita emphasizes because shakarma is the karma provoked from inside, not following the instinct. It has followed the own instincts and inspirations and not provocation from outside. And Shadharma and Shabhava are the own inborn, innate, and spontaneous natural force. So when we use our own instincts and inspirations, rather than following the others, then we can attain success. Can you see, please?
Yeah, we can see. Just you move. Yes, we can see that. No problem. You just
click. Yes. Now, how and why Shabhava and Shadharma and Shakarma succeed? Because when one heart is devoted to God and devoted to the ordained duty prescribed by innate forces, then each attains the highest perfection. This highest perfection is attained by the person because it comes from the force from whom is the evolution of all works and beings, by whom all this is pervaded. Worshipping him with one's own duty is how a man attains perfection. Therefore, Gita demands egoless, desireless, and worshipping person to attain easy success, shahajam success, in every stride of life. This shahajam success, why it is shahajam? Because it is behind this, the God's force works. Every stride in life, whether it is personal, corporate, social, or national, or global, we find that God is behind that actor. Now, modernity actually expected that secularism would come about with the advancement of modernism. But history shows aspects of diversity found within the actual practice of secularism in the running of a country. And also the rough edges where the theories of the divide of religion and secularism are seen to fray against the hard facts of life. In France and in America, and even in the East, we find that secularization principles are not working. Why? Because the practices are not supported by divine forces. And this divine force comes from tapasya, inner force. But modernity essentially is external, bypassing the inner nature of practices. According to Lessing, it is the prison we choose to live inside. Therefore, we can say that modernity is not supposed to bring about secularism as such, because it deals with the external forces, not internal. How Gita differs in secularism policy from modern theory, just in in a very short term, we can say that Gita follows Shamatta Yoga, the yoga of equanimity, equality, but modernism does not do that. It separates religion from the state. That is the problem. Therefore, we work with Shamatya Yoga, detached from any attachment, accepting success or failure the same, then we can see that the secularism can be established. Every statesman devoid of yoga, this kind of yoga, is subject to be a wretched and thus a non-secular one, in link to selfish returns from violence in states. So what is our takeaway thing? Secularism is the highest moral good to be bought at the highest price, abandoning ego and selfishness. It's an inner quality, not outer, nor it is easy to achieve. But it is easy to achieve according to Gita, because Gita advises Arjuna that it is abhyasana tu konteya vairagyana cha vrijjhate. That is, it should be practiced every time, every day, every moment. Secularism has to be practiced. The eye of indifference, not indifference, eye of equality should be there everywhere. And vairagyana, through the process of renunciation, that is, foregoing the ego and foregoing the kamas and krodhas, kamana, vasana, krodha, rajo and tamagun, all these things have to be abandoned. Then Gita teaches how to be able to pay the price through Shamatya Yoga. Therefore, Gita accommodated and appropriated secularism as a natural phenomenon. It is not to be imposed or trained or imparted to any person from outside. It has to be created from within as a natural one, as the flower blooms naturally. Separating states from religious institutions is not a practical and sustainable way to maintain secularism anywhere in the world. It has proved, because in my slide there was statistics that
just 1 minute.
Yes, in 50 states during the last 6 years, we have 15 states where the killing and all kinds of violent activities took place in the name of religion. And the more men and women can acquire the yoga, Shamatya Yoga, the more will secularism prevail automatically and save the world from interfaith tolerance. Here we find a bunch of flowers. Plants are naturally secular. Flowers have no ego. They grow with their Shabhava and Shadharma, with multiple colors. They can live without violence. Thank you all, and namaskar.